A mysterious Bitcoin whale just opened $31 million long position, but even bigger boys are distributing on spot. Bitcoin is squeezing and a huge move is incoming. Let's unlock the trading insights.
My crypto paradise.
Hello ladies and gentlemen of the Paradise Club, this is Simon from My Crypto Paradise. Together we have been analyzing in the previous videos Ethereum, and I have told you that with the highest probability we will revisit these resistance areas. As you can see, we have done exactly that. After that we have started to crash from these resistances. As you know, we are right now for a few weeks already creating these zigzag movements. There's basically no trend at all. It is not great for swing trading, but for short-term trading, for scalp trading, it is quite beneficial. And as you can see with Paradise Family VIPs, we have been taking advantage of this price action on, for example, this GTO trade, and we have just closed target free for around 150% profit with a great money and risk management, of course. Right now, however, it really what interests us the most is what's gonna happen next, right? So with Ethereum and also Bitcoin, we need to make sure that we understand properly the probabilities of the next moves. So let's start analyzing a little bit more Ethereum slash Bitcoin. That will give us the kind of advantage from other traders, because we will understand where is the strength at the moment. So as you can see, you remember from the previous videos that I have been sharing with you this new impulse that we are creating, and that also helped us to understand that thanks to this impulse momentum we will be able to decouple. Ethereum will be able to decouple from Bitcoin. However, right now something very important is happening right here that might ruin the plans of decoupling. So let's take a look at the latest video. What I have wanted to see, because we have registered that we are trading inside of this contracting triangle, we know that inside of contracting triangle the price action should create 5 subwaves. So this was the first wave, second wave, third wave, fourth wave, and I told you there will be a final 5th wave, right? And if this pattern is correct and it will not be a break of structure, we will hold above this moving average trend line, this orange trend line, and this ascending trend line as well. So I told you we will go down to create a 5th wave, but I want to see that we basically hold above the ascending trend line and the moving average. As you can see, we have dumped exactly but below the moving average trend line and also below the ascending trend line that was previously holding the price action above, helped us to create the higher highs. So right now what we are looking at with Paradise team to make sure that we can say with the highest probability that Ethereum is still more bullish than Bitcoin, and actually it can decouple. So even if Bitcoin would start crashing, Ethereum would be able to keep going to the upside. What we are looking at is right now a daily candle closure back above the moving average trend line that will increase the probabilities for the successful decoupling, and it will just show us that this was just a fake out to trap some traders below, and another correction, another confirmation will be a closure above this ascending trend line. All right, so it can still be just a fake out, we can go higher. However, if in 2 days, basically on Sunday, if we close the final daily candle below also this moving average trend line, below the ascending trend line, it will extremely increase the probabilities that this is a break of structure and we will need to start having a correction lower. And the price I'm looking at that will work as a support is the top of the previous first wave right here. So really important stuff right now happening. We are monitoring it very closely with the Paradise team, and either way, if we will start getting a confirmations for a downside or an upside, a big move is forming in the crypto market, and as a professional traders we will be ready for it, and with the Paradise Family VIPs we will do the best to ride it and maximize our profitability on that. So yes, I do believe that very soon we will get right out of this sideways movement and there will be a huge move incoming. If we take take a look at Ethereum right now, we can see on the daily time frame this shooting star candle, double shooting star candle by the way, because we have created the shooting star right here and also right here, is really playing out. As you can see on our website, this is a reversal signal, and most often it finishes the uptrends. Yeah, when you see in an uptrend creation of the gravestone doji, somebody calls it gravestone doji as well, somebody calls it shooting star, it is a warning sign. All right, and if you see two of them, 1 and 2, this is a double confirmation that you should be really careful. So as you can see right now, the shooting star is playing out. We have got some kind of rejection already, correction of the small uptrend that we have had, but as you can see, we are still really just zigzag sideways moving, right? So what I want to see on Ethereum, in order for us to go and look for some bullish setups, immediate bullish setups, as you can see, we are right now trading within a gap of VPVR. This is low liquidity territory, so there can be a whipsaw, so very careful about that. What I want to see in order for us to understand, all right, this is really gonna continue towards our resistance at around $3,000. I want to see the daily candle closing back above the moving average trend line and also back above our 0.61 Fibonacci retracement level right here. Then I will be able to say, all right, the high time frame structure is still bullish and we can start looking at some daily and swing trading setups. However, if we will fail to close above it and we will start closing below these supports and turning it into resistances, I will be looking at a break of structure of this as well, and basically the same way as with Ethereum / Bitcoin, I will put the decoupling on hold if there will be double confirmation from the Ethereum and Bitcoin chart as well, and I will be looking at Ethereum moving down towards the top of the previous first wave right here. And then still, if this is going to hold, this is just a break of structure. We have made a successful cycle if that would be the case, and I would still believe that from a macro perspective we are still bullish, and if this is going to hold, we will be definitely looking not for shorting right here but for buying, because I'm expecting much higher prices from Ethereum. However, we need to get some confirmations from medium and low time frame chart right now. So let's shift our focus to 4-hour candle chart. But also before that, I also want to share with you something very important that we are monitoring with the Paradise team, and that is some bullish divergences. Okay, so when you are trying to buy the bottom, all right, at some important supports or some key structure levels, you also want to see an exhaustion of bears, right? And how can you spot it very well is on the volume, first of all, and second of all on oscillators. All right, and you are looking for bearish divergences and if we are at oversold or overbought areas. And right now we can see that on the RSI indicator we are just in the middle, right? So that is not strong sign of being overbought or oversold. And the second thing you are looking at is crossing above the moving average trend line on the RSI. As you can see, we are not having nothing of that as well. And the third thing you are looking at is some bullish or bearish divergences, right? And as you can see right now, the price action is creating lower low and the indicator is creating lower low as well. So there is no bullish divergence, right? That is for me a sign that from the high time frame perspective, right now opening some long position is a low probability play. Does it mean that we cannot shoot to the upside from here? Of course it can, right? But it's not a high probability play setup that I would be trading right now or interested in trading right now. Why? Because I can be lucky in casino as well, right? Sometimes I can win loads, but if I will be doing these kind of random bets, random trades from the long-term perspective, I will lose money sooner or later, as the gamblers does in casino and in trading as well, right? So trading is the only endeavor where you have chances of 50-50. That is why it's very easy for the market to trick you into thinking that you are doing something right, when in reality you are just being lucky, right? So if we take a look at the MACD histogram, we see no bullish divergence at all as well. And if we take a look at stochastic RSI, we can see that we are in an oversold area, but we have no open legs. What I'm looking at stochastic RSI is some trends confirmations, right? So I want these two lines to be like this, or like this to support a downtrend. All right, so I don't see nothing bullish right here from this kind of spectrum. It can change, of course, right? That is why it's important to monitor the market as much as possible every day and look for the potential setups. But right now what I'm seeing is exactly this. Let's zoom in right now to 4-hour time frame. Yeah, by the way, for the ultra high time frame perspective, on our Telegram channel, free Telegram channel with the Paradise team, we have created a new free alert update where with the team we are updating exactly what's gonna happen next and the 44k target. All right, so link is in the description. If you want to read the new free alert update, join our free Telegram channel. Now back to 4-hour time frame, medium time frame for Bitcoin. We will go through this ABC, but first I want to share with you the high time frame of Bitcoin. All right, today I think it's not necessary to go through Ethereum because of the Ethereum / Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin right now seems to be getting more liquidity from what we are seeing behind the scenes as well. So as you know from the previous videos where I have been slightly updating you about the Bitcoin, we have been spectating this extended bearish divergence. I've told you this is one of the strongest one when the price is making higher high but the indicator is making lower high. This basically means the momentum of bulls is decreasing and the bears also, when we are at like important resistance, will have an easy job of taking it over, right? And that's exactly what happened. As you can see right here, we have broke below the previous support that was right here, and it from low time support turned into high time frame resistance, ladies and gentlemen. We have got the retest, and this is the perfect reclaim that I'm talking about every time, all right, for confirmations. So break, retest, and continuation. Okay, this is exactly what you want to see, because on this retest we have actually confirmed this is going to be now a pretty strong resistance, right? And after that we are creating lower highs together with lower lows, and we are creating a small bear trend. Is this gonna turn into a big bear trend? Well, for that we need to get some confirmation. So first of all, are we seeing some bullish divergences right here to give us some great trading setups for long positions? Well, from a professional trading perspective, I don't see it, ladies and gentlemen. Right here we can see lower low, and the histogram on the MACD indicator is also having a lower low, right? No exhaustion from bears at all. The bears are pretty strong, as you can see right here on the momentum. No confirmation from RSI as well. In fact, we are retesting right now the moving average trend line that is also pretty much very often working as a bearish retest, reclaim, retest, continuation, right? The price action is making it, the oscillators are making something similar. So as you can see right here, we have got exactly that bearish retest right here. Right now we are trying to have another bearish retest, and for confirmations of continuation down, I'm really looking for the daily candle not only continue to close below these resistances, but also keep having the moving average trend line as a resistance as well, right? So today I want to make sure that in 9 hours the daily candle will close below the moving average trend line, and from the high time frame perspective it will give me probabilities for nice setups that we will go down and towards probably $93,000. So this is from high time frame perspective, the confirmations I'm looking at. Of course, if we will start reclaiming this resistance into a support, I will be looking at long positions. Let's zoom in, ladies and gentlemen, right now on 4-hour time frame on Bitcoin. This is medium time frame. So let's analyze what happened right here. We have got from the ultra high time frame perspective, we have got the B wave, that is the corrective wave, and it subdivides itself into some corrective mode waves, right? And we knew that this is going to be a zigzag. However, we have got an extended C, right? And as you know from our microparadise.com website, the C wave is subdividing itself into 5 smaller waves. Sometimes it's more visible, sometimes it's less visible. As you can see, this C wave was extended, so it's pretty nicely visible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, it's a motive mode wave. It finished right here at this strong resistance, and once it broke through this channel right here, you can see that we have started to have a new trend, and it's not up anymore, it's down, right? Right now, what's important for continuation are some confirmations, right? So I don't want to see this resistance to be reclaimed into a support. Another thing I'm looking at is getting back below the point of control on VPVR. That is quite nicely, even though it's not exact, because right here it's like 103,800. The moving average trend line is moving, right? But it's around at the moment 104,500. So what I want to see from confirmational perspective, I want to see that the price action will start to drop below the moving average trend line. We get the reclaim, all right, also a reclaim of the point of control, and that will tell me that there will be a high probability trading setups. I want to see a confirmation from volume perspective on the break. I want to see a nice surge in volume, ladies and gentlemen. That will tell me that somebody big is actually market selling impatiently, and that is also very good sign for a confirmation of a continuation, right? So another thing I'm looking at is some bearish divergence. At the moment we don't have it, right? So the price action is making, as you can see right here, a lower high, and the histogram on MACD is also making a lower high. Together with that, the momentum is still increasing. We didn't make even a slight lower high right here, so I'm looking at first lower high, and that will be an early confirmation. Then it really depends on what kind of trader are you, right? Are you a trader of high risk appetite or small risk appetite? Like, it also depends on your current streak. How much wins do you have? How much losses do you have? So all of this depends on how did you build your long-term profitable strategy, right? So some traders might already enter earlier on an early sign, so just a slight decrease in momentum might trigger for somebody a short position, right? Somebody needs to wait for more confirmations to get more probabilities, right, etc. So it's just a chess game, big game, and when you play it right, you will be long-term profitable. When you play wrong, you can get lucky in the short term, but more often than not, in a few years you will lose everything, right? Let's zoom in a little bit on Bitcoin. Let's have a look what's going on right here on low time frame. This is very interesting right now. This is very interesting, and it can help us a lot to understand when to enter and when not to enter, and if to enter long position or a short position. So what do you see right here? It's a pattern. It's a very common pattern, ladies and gentlemen. Can you spot it? Well, it's a head and shoulders, all right? It's a head and shoulders reversal pattern, and on our website mycryptoparadise.com I will also leave the link in the description so you can understand how to trade these patterns. You can see that we are creating a textbook head and shoulders pattern. So we have two shoulders and one head, right? Then we have a neckline and a trend line that has at least 2 points that is connecting the trend. So right here we have the trend line, 2 points connecting it. We have the neckline right here. We have the left shoulder right here, right shoulder right here. Well, it's a textbook head and shoulders pattern. And on our website, you can see how to trade it. What I'm waiting for is something very important, and I will also reveal to you the targets if we will have a successful break of this pattern. Yeah, so just a minute, let me show you what I'm looking at for confirmations. Well, first of all, let's have a look at the oscillator right here, MACD. Do you have a bearish divergence? We do, right? Because the momentum is creating a lower high, but the price action is having higher highs, right? So the momentum is decreasing. Also on the upwards price action, the momentum is decreasing too. The volume is decreasing too, okay? That means that somebody who created this bullish short-term trend wasn't really thinking about continuation to the upside. I will tell you also in a minute who created this price action to the upside. It wasn't a smart money, okay? You can bet on that, and I will tell you exactly why in a second. So what I'm looking at on low time frame chart, ladies and gentlemen, is first of all a break below the moving average trend line, and second of all a reclaim of this neckline. All right, so break with nice volume. All right, now on the uptrend we are having decline in volume. So I'm looking for a surge in the volume on the downside. Reclaim this into a resistance and then continue down. That will be a high probability setup, ladies and gentlemen. With Paradise team we are monitoring the market 24/7, and we are waiting for confirmations to allow us to pull the trigger, and then with the exact entry and exit targets we are sharing our trading setups with Paradise family VIPs. And about the target, as you can see, if I measure the depth of the head and the neckline and I put it to the breakout point, it will give me around 9 to 10% drop. Actually on the downtrend it's 9%, yeah, and this is the target. Okay, it would be a target of around $95,000 of this pattern breakout. All right, and if you want to confirm the next support where we can expect some kind of a demand, we can also confirm it with Fibonacci retracement tool. So basically I have placed this tool from measuring the head, yeah, from the local bottom to the local top right here, and then you can see one of the most important levels is 1.61, a Fibonacci retracement level, and that is having very similar level with the target of the head and shoulders breakout, and you can see that around $93,000 there will be a strong support, strong demand zone. So yeah, what I'm looking at after confirmations, this will break out, and the target I'm looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly around $93,000. Well, and then it will be a decision point right here, right? So this is what we are looking at right now. Right now, let's take a look also at who created this price action. So for that, we need to take a look a little bit behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, what we can see, loads of sell walls above us, right? So that will basically work with the reclaiming the resistance for me to be bullish with the Paradise team and look for some bullish setups. We are not looking for bullish setups right now. And if you take a look at the open interest, we can see that this price action was basically created by closure of short positions, yeah? So in the futures market, if you close a short position, it automatically creates a long position and it pushes the prices up artificially, yeah? And somebody right here on the order book suit, you can see, is distributing on it, filling their sell limit orders, all right? Together with that, a spot is selling, which is never a good sign on market. Together with the distribution, that is not a good sign. And with the mixture of open interest, this is a recipe for bearish continuation. So the confirmations what we are looking at are clear. I wish you a great weekend. I will keep you updated as always. The schedule, the uploading schedule is Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Trade safe, trade with a strategy. Remember, if you don't have a strategy, then your strategy is to fail, and I will see you again on Tuesday. Cheers.